Yesterday, my husband brung a homeless man over for dinner. Now, I didn't have a problem with it, but this was his very first time of him doing something like this. So I pulled my husband to the side and then I asked him why did he decide to bring a homeless man over. He told me that he was walking down the street to go to the gas station on the corner. He saw the homeless man, but he tried to walk past him. But then the homeless man stood up and asked my husband did he have a couple of dollars so he could buy food. My husband has a good heart, so he pulled out $20 from his wallet. But before he gave the money to the homeless man, he asked him would he buy beer with it instead of food. The homeless man told him no because he stopped drinking years ago. Then my husband asked him will he use it to go fishing instead of buying food. The homeless man told my husband that he don't spend time on fishing. He spent all his time trying to stay alive. My husband asked him one last question. He said, well, would you spend this on hunting equipment? The homeless man told him that he haven't gone hunting in 30 years. So my husband decided to not give him the money. Instead, he told the homeless man that he was going to bring him home for a good shower and a fantastic dinner that I cooked. The homeless man was excited, but then he asked my husband would I be mad at him for bringing him home. My husband told him not to worry because it was very important for me to see what a man looks like after he's given up drinking, fishing, and hunting. My husband's birthday was coming up and I had no idea what to get him, so I decided to meet my best friend at a restaurant for advice. I told her that my husband already has everything and anything that he wants he would buy, so I'm stuck. So my friend came up with a very good idea. She told me to make up a love pass for him. Basically, I tell him that he can have 60 minutes of passionate love any way he wants it. And I thought this was a very good idea because we make love the old-fashioned way. Nothing spontaneous or unpredictable. But anyways, a couple days later, it was my husband's birthday and I gave him the love pass. I could tell he was excited because he kissed me on the cheek and he told me thank you. But anyways, the next day, I met my best friend back at the same restaurant. The first thing she asked me was, did I take her advice? I had a big smile on my face. I said, yes, I did take your advice. She said, well, did he like it? I told her he loved it because right after I gave him the love pass, he kissed me on the cheek. And then he ran out the door. He told me that he would be back in an hour. So my grandfather was telling me this story of how he used to love to go fishing every Sunday. He got up every Sunday and made his own lunch. Then after that, he hooks up his boat and he would be gone all day long. Well, one Sunday morning, he got up early without waking up my grandmother. And after he got dressed and grabbed his lunch, he went to the garage to hook up his boat to the back of his truck. As he was pulling out of the garage, he noticed that it was pouring down rain. And it was very windy. The wind was blowing like 60 miles per hour. He didn't want to go fishing in the rain, so he decided to stay home. When he came back into the house, he turned on the weather channel just to make sure it wasn't going to rain all day. But the weatherman said they were going to have bad weather all day long. So my grandfather puts his boat back into the garage and then he slips into bed with my grandmother. That's when my grandfather whispered in her ear and told her that the weather was terrible. My grandmother started yawning. When I was a doctor, I used to work at a mental institution. I had a lot of elderly patients that I had to look after. And one morning I had came in to do a test on my patients. I just wanted to see who was still mentally ill and needed my help. And the ones who passed my test, I would let them go home. So I took out a marker and I drew a big door on the wall. I then told my patients if they wanted to escape, they would have to use the door that I drew on the wall. 2 minutes later, a lot of my patients got up and ran towards the door. But of course, none of them could make it through. But I was surprised to see that one of my patients didn't even get up to try to go through the door. He was just sitting down with a smile on his face. He didn't move at all, so I thought he was cured, which that also put a smile on my face. So when I walked up to him and asked him why didn't he rush to the door, he looked at me and then he told me to lean in closer so he could whisper in my ear. So I did what he asked, and then he whispered, they don't even know that I'm the one who has the key.